talking about, you know who Judge Campley is?
Yeah.
His father used to drive the potato chip. Bearcat, he used to bring all the snacks to all the bars. And we were like, your dad's got the coolest stuff. My dad was a policeman on a three-wheel motorcycle, but your dad's got the coolest. Yeah, he got that coolest job. Cause he delivered snacks. I'm going to call the meeting to order, please. I'd like to call the City Council meeting for the City of Ashtabula to order. Today is Monday, November 18th, 2024. At this time, if you would please stand for the prayer pledge, and then we will have a moment of silence.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to let your inspiration precede this council's actions and all present here today, and your assistance further us so that every word and work of ours may take its beginning from you, and so begun, may through you reach its completion. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we could just remain standing for a moment of silence for Patrolman William Glover, whom 27 years ago today was shot and killed in the line of duty. Along with his fellow officers, our thoughts and prayers are with his family and with all our officers who protect us every day.
Thank you. Ms. Bell, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Roskovich?
Here.
Mr. Simeone?
Here.
Mr. Guerrero?
Here.
Mrs. Foglio?
Here.
Mrs. DiGiacomo?
Here.
Mrs. Mills?
Here.
Ms. Holman?
Present.
Mr. Timonier?
Here.
Ms. Cooper?
Here.
Mrs. Augustin?
Ms. Augustin is absent tonight, and she did contact me today. Okay, very good. We have met our requirements for our sunshine law. At this time, I would like to make a motion for council to go into an executive session to discuss employment of personnel.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Mr. Rosvick, a second by Mrs. DiGiacomo. Would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Mills?
Yes.
Mrs. DiGiacomo?
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio?
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero?
Yes.
Mr. Simeone?
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich?
Yes.
Ms. Holman?
Yes.
Thank you. And we're going to go into executive session now. We apologize for this. We very seldom do this, but tonight we find it to be necessary. So we will try to be brief, and we come back. Once again, though, with our apologies. Are we ready, Mr. Timoney?
Hold here, retract as long as,
We're done? We're good? Okay. Thank you. We appreciate your patience and for allowing us that brief interlude. We hope Mr. Timoner's singing was adequate during that time. So we appreciate that. All right, we're going to continue on with the meeting. We have minutes from November 4th.
November 4th, 2024, regular council meeting was called to order at 7:00 p.m. by Council President Roskovich. Ward 1 Councilor Kim Foglio offered the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Present, Mr. Roskovich, Mr. Simeone, Mrs. Foglio, Mr. Guerrero, Ms. Holman, Mrs. Mills, Mrs. DeGiacomo. Officers present, Mr. Timonier, City Solicitor Cooper, Ms. Augustin, and Clerk of Council Bell.
May I have a motion to waive the reading of the minutes?
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Foglio moves, Mrs. Mills seconds. Mrs. Mills, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will approve the minutes by a 7-0 vote.
Excuse me, Mr. President. I would just like to add my request for the lieutenant to come to the ad hoc committee to present or to engage in discussion around their partnership with the juvenile courts. And for the record, I'd like to be that to be included in the minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
and he
ma'am.
agreed to attend one of the meetings. So.
Yes, ma'am, I'll add that.
Add that to the minutes. So we will approve the minutes with that addition. Thank you, Ms. Holman. We will move on to the administrative reports. City Council, I would like to request resolution number 150. In resolution number 150, I don't think it's in your pack because it was pulled at the last minute. Can we make copies of that, Mr. Tim, in there?
I can. if you need
Can
to.
we?
Mhm.
Okay, can you make copies and then give everyone here on the,
Of the resolution?
yes, of resolution 150, yeah. I would like to have resolution number 150. A resolution stating that we will hire council will hire Stacy Milberg of Ashtabula to be the new clerk of council. I would like to add that to our agenda, please.
Do I have to second that?
Yeah. we-
Second.
I make a motion, Mrs. Foglo seconds. Any discussion? All in favor of adding it to our agenda?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add this employment of Miss Stacy Milberg as the new clerk of council by a 7-0 vote. Thank you. And Miss Bell, give everybody a copy of that. Okay, I have nothing else. Other than a reminder that on December 2nd, our meeting will start at 6 o'clock with a budget hearing. No action will be taken at that 6 o'clock meeting, and then we will pass the budget after it is available for 10 days. We will pass it at our December 16th meeting. Okay, thank you. Mr. Manager?
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I would like an ordinance to acknowledge and approve compensation and vacation leave for new hire, Mrs. Kelly Jones, as the executive assistant to the city manager.
Mr. President, I move on the manager's recommendation. I'll second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, a second by Mrs. Mills. Is there any discussion?
I just want to add that I've known Kelly for a lot of years, and she has been a go-getter for Ashtabula and Ashtabula projects, lots of volunteerism. So we're happy to have you on our team.
Anything else? And coming to Ashtabula, Ashtabula is where it's at, you know. So. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 7-0 vote.
Thank you, and I'm excited to have Ms. Jones on board as well. I was part of the best class of leadership in 2018, and have gotten to know Ms. Jones over the years through working even before my time here at the Chamber of Commerce and now with the city. So really excited that she'll be starting with us in December. So looking forward to And there will be a little bit of a transition back and forth. As most of you know, my assistant right now, Mrs. Brenda Sanders, is retiring at the end of January. So there'll be some good time together where they'll be working things out and learning, and then we'll be saying goodbye to Ms. Sanders at the end of January. So I'll let you guys all know what the details of how that looks as we get closer. Next, I would like two ordinances. One to repeal payroll ordinance 2024-110 and replace it with a new payroll ordinance to provide the changes to the compensation for the position of the executive assistant to the city manager.
Mr. President, I'll move on the manager's recommendation.
Motion by Mrs. Mills, second by Mr. Roskovich. Any discussion? All in favor?
So we don't have that, that's what she's passing out right now?
No, this is for our hire.
Okay.
No, the whole thing is a pass.
So let's do it this way.
Here's one right here. Okay. Any discussion on the repeal and place ordinance? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 7-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to authorize the amendment of the Community Care Ambulance Network Agreement for ambulance and medical transportation and fire department dispatching services.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, second by Ms. Holman. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 7-0 vote.
Next, I would like an ordinance to make supplemental increases and/or decreases to appropriations for various funds for current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Ashtabula.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, second by Mrs. Mills. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 7-0 vote.
These next two ordinances are just requests. They'll be presented at the next council meeting. First, I would like an ordinance to enter into an agreement with the Ashtabula County Animal Protective League for the purpose of intake of animals for the city of Ashtabula in an amount not to exceed $24,200. Funding for this expense will be taken from Fund 101.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Mrs. Foglio moves. Mr. Roskovich will second. Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Yes.
Mr. Manager, since we're paying a bulk fee this time and last year we did, is this work out better than previous, how we did it?
It's hard to say because I haven't gone and totaled up how many animals. We did bring a lot of animals this year, so I would imagine it worked in our favor this time
Okay.
versus the $85 per that we did last time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have a little bit of an increase. this
Yes,
time.
we have about a 10% increase this year. It was 22,000 last year, and it's 24,200 this year.
Okay.
Mr. Manager, is that $85 a day?
It was $85 a dog.
A dog?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
How much for a cat?
I don't recall what those, the dogs were the big one, but that was, it was $85 per dog per day also.
day, right,
So
that's
then
what I
there was-
thought, yeah.
There was fees if the animal had to be held because of court hearings.
Right, then that person
And
would
it just kept on adding up. Yep.
Wow, that gets complicated, okay. All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 7-0 vote.
And lastly, I would like an ordinance to enter an agreement with the Northeast Ohio Overhead Door in Kingsville, Ohio, for the purpose of replacing the maintenance building overhead door at Water Pollution Control Plant in the amount not to exceed $15,000. Funding for this expense will be taken from Fund 504.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move on the manager's recommendation.
Mrs. Foglio moves.
Second.
Mrs. Mills second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will add it to our agenda by a 7-0 vote.
That's all I have for requests, so just a couple announcements. Please remember, we are still picking up leaf bags curbside. We prefer you do that rather than bringing it to Public Works. This week, we're in the harbor, and next week, the week of the 25th, is the last week we'll be picking them up curbside, and we will be in the wards for the last week of the season. We did run into an incident over the weekend. We've noticed it in other places, but most notably in the weekend, we had somebody blow all their leaves into the street. So again, reminder, please do not do that. It's not only not safe for vehicle traffic, but also for the storm drains of the city when people do that. We've had a pretty good run right now at Public Works, not abusing the drop-off area with different garbage and other limbs, so I do appreciate that. Thank you for participating well in that. And just for the holiday for Thanksgiving, garbage will not be picked up on that Thursday, so we'll be one day behind. So if you're on a Thursday route, it'll be picked up on Friday. Friday will be Saturday.
Same with,
Same with recycling. Recycling
Recycle.
will be on
Good, good,
Saturday
good.
if
Okay.
that's your week. Yes. Mr. President, that's all I have for my report.
Thank you, Mr. Timoner. Is there any questions for the manager?
I have a question. I'm not sure if it should come during the finance report, but it's around budgeting for next year. Pretty much the same question I asked you in pre-council. It's no secret that I've been advocating and wanting budget allocation for recycling bins and trash bins in Ward 3, where there hasn't been any. So what's the process, or what's the thinking behind acquiring those for wards that don't have them?
So yeah, it's not only Ward 3, it's a portion of Ward 3, all of Ward 4, and all of Ward 5. As I mentioned in pre-council, we have been working on looking at the grants that are available from the Ohio EPA for this. The grant funding would only cover the recycling bin portion and up to 75% of that. We've gotten a preliminary cost of about $50 per cart. So we need one garbage cart and one recycling cart. It's about $280,000 total. So half of that is $190,000, and then we still owe 25% of the $190,000 if we were awarded the grant. So it is at the forefront of our minds right now. The sanitation department staff is looking at ways that we can reroute what we currently pick up in order for us to pick up both curbside recycling and garbage on the same day rather than every other week like we do it now. That is really where we have to be in order to be able to do this efficiently. So when you put out your garbage can, you put out your recycling, we pick up both on the same day throughout the entire city. As long as they can do that, we think we can forego the new trucks for the time being, get the program up and running, and then as budgetary funds become available, we can look at trucks in the future. But the goal right now is to be able to look at how we can reroute in order to pick this up efficiently every day of the week, and then how we can afford to buy the totes at this point.
Thank you.
So then you're running two trucks on each route?
We would run a total of 3 trucks during the day, 2 of which would pick up garbage, 1 which pick up recycling. And then when the garbage trucks are done picking up their routes, they would pick up whatever's left in recycling. That's kind of how we do it on Fridays now. They go out, they do all of the garbage, and then retrack and do all the recycling.
How many trucks do we own right now?
We own 4, 3 of which are always on the road, and then we have 1 as a backup because inevitably one of them is having an issue. So.
Yeah, because I often see a truck pulling a trailer, thank you.
So that's typically for the leaf bags, but there have been times where we've had more than 1 truck down, and we've had to use either 1 tons or the leaf trailer to pick up garbage. Yep.
So, Mr. Manager, if we don't get the new trucks, the way the totes are and the recycling, and it has that metal thing, the guys aren't gonna have to lift these up, are they?
No, right now, all the trucks are equipped with, we call them flippers, so they can just put the totes up to the back and flip them on there. The guys actually prefer to reach in, grab all the bags and throw it in there. They think it's faster, and they don't lift the whole thing up. Recycling is much different. It's a lot lighter. We can pack more into 1 truck because when you really think about recycling, it's mostly air. So once it's all packed, it's just easier to pick up the recycling.
So will they do some education because,
Yeah.
you know, and I mean, it's hard for people in the beginning because you have to keep all this in your house and rinse it and you separate it and I do that now, but I mean, it's a lot of work. So you only have one garbage can, and you can't put garbage in the recycle can.
That's correct,
These guys are gonna have, I know in the beginning, there's gonna be a transition, because
And there
it's a
was
process.
when we rolled it out, and we did and we will again supply educational materials all
And they have like a
strapped to the.
sticker or something that goes
It was
on
actually
it.
a packet that we had.
Yeah.
We had a packet that we developed and put on every can. Excuse me, and it had the schedule in there. It had, I think it even had a magnet that the, yeah,
so you
it
know
had a
what you
magnet
can
that the
do.
solid waste district did that said, you can throw this away, you can't throw that away, kind of thing. So we did do a lot of educational materials when we delivered the carts. And the delivery of the cart is another expense that has to be taken into account. I think it cost us around, it's between $15,000 and $20,000 to just distribute them once they got here. Yeah, the initial estimate we have is $14,000 just to deliver them to us, and then we have to deliver them to each household, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mr.
Thank you.
Manager, and that's because each tote has a number. Each number is,
Yep, we tried to
Is to
record
the house,
every one of them.
right.
We're trying to figure out whether that's important for us right now or not. We do somewhat track with it, but it hasn't been used as much as we needed it. It doesn't cost us much to put that serial number on there, so as we get closer, that might be something that's whittled off the price.
And what would be the reason or the rationale behind tagging them?
Just because these totes do not belong to the individual resident,
Residents.
they belong to the property. So when people move, those have to stay on the property.
That's how it is in Geneva, too.
All right, thank you, Mr. Manager. Ms. Cooper, do you have anything this evening?
I do not, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper. Ms. Augustine is not here, but Mr. Timonier has presented her two resolutions, and Clerk of Council. Oh, I'm sorry, what? Oh, you,
Mr. President, I was just going to say with regard to the 2025 budget, so we have sent out a preliminary, as you know, right now. As we get closer to the date, we'll send another one out. We have asked all the departments to start closing down POs, looking at what else we need to finish the year. There probably will be more appropriations ordinances coming at the next two meetings as we get closer and defining what the end of the year looks like. All of those numbers will then go into that budget, which is presented. And then again, from the time we present the budget on the 2nd till the time is presented for passage, for consideration of passage on the 16th, it could even fluctuate during that time as well as we get closer to the end of the year and know what our numbers are. So just keep that in mind as we progress down the road here.
all right, thank you. We will go on to our committee reports, community development and economic development.
Mr. President, before we move on, while we're in finance, even though Finance Director Eve Rose Augustine is not here, and Ms. Sheldon, she's no longer here, but I just wanted to take a few moments to congratulate them and their department, because from my knowledge, we received an audit, and it was quite impressive to see under adjustments, reported non-compliance and internal controls, verbal recommendations, disagreements with management, consultation and other independent accountants, major issues discussed with management prior to retention, difficulties encountered in performing the audit. Under all those things, there was no issue or no problem, and I just want to commend that department for receiving such high scores on the audit.
Thank you, Ms. Holman. We appreciate you pointing that out, and that is true. They had I guess it's called a clean audit. And so thank you for pointing that out, and we appreciate the finance department. And certainly they are, to be recognized.
Continuing the tradition of clean audits.
Yes. Okay, we will, Economic Development Committee,
So we will have our meeting here tomorrow at 5:30 with Amanda Triata from CDC, which is the Civic Development Corporation.
it's tomorrow in this chamber at 5:30.
Around
Finance,
5:30.
Finance and Personnel, I believe there's a report.
yes, I have a nice little short report, and 90% of it we've already gone over, so we'll go real quick. We started out with our finance director's report, and the city's revenue reflects a target of 83%. Currently, the revenue is 87.66, which is a little higher. The target for the statement of expenditure report was 83. As of October 31st, 74% of that was used. Approximately $3 million is currently encumbered for the 2025 fiscal year. The Finance Department notified all department heads that purchase orders must be closed by Friday, November 22nd. The Finance Department received notification from the state of Ohio that there were 0 findings from the audit. The 3 joint economic development districts were also audited by the state of Ohio, and there were 0 findings from the audit. The 2025 budget proposal will be presented at a public hearing on December 2nd. The city manager's report. A position for a code enforcement officer will be posted. The salary for the position is going to be included in the budget, and there are 4 people from the police department who will retire in 2025. 1 person from Public Works will retire, and the city manager's assistant will retire in 2025. The employee's retirement payout is reflected in the budget because sometimes that can be a lot of money. The carryover balance in the sanitation department fund continues to decrease. Rates have not been raised since 2018. Currently, the rate of $15.50 for garbage pickup for each month. City officials are measuring the cost of garbage and recycling pickup in each ward 5 days per week. The last estimated cost of the totes were $50. Approximately 5,600 totes are needed, which is a total of $280,000. The price of trucks for the sanitation department is approximately $279,000, and we'll need 2 of those, Mr. Manager?
We would like to have 2 new ones,
2,
yes.
2 new ones. And Community Care Ambulance will move their operation to another building in the city. Their contract must be modified to remove the operation of the billing and dispatch departments in the same building. The new building is not conducive for the 2 departments. Most of the organization's billing is done remotely. The dispatch centers are located in other areas also. The formal request for the modification will be made during the next regular council meeting, which we've already done. And the finance director included an increase for the assistant finance director in their budget. And our next meeting is scheduled for December 20th. However, if there's not business that's imminent, Merry Christmas. We won't have a meeting that day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Fogel. And I think one of the things that showed up in the budget, it's a good-looking budget, but we have to remember, as was pointed out at the committee meeting, last year between the hospital, the hotel, Chestnut Village Apartments, all this activity that was going on in the city, that increased the amount of income tax collected by the city. And now with those projects being done, completed, we may see a reduction in the amount of income tax collected.
Mr. President, the other thing to note was the income received from the delinquencies that were sent to the AG's office. That was quite a bump as well, which we don't anticipate coming. Also, we have adjusted, it's not a significant amount, but for our investments, we have adjusted the percentage return down. We do with the Fed's dropping interest rates and what we see coming up, we do think some of those we won't be seeing the 5s and 6 and 7% that we have for the last 2 years.
Yeah, and then all the COVID money is gone,
Right.
the AFA money, so those were all taken into our budget consideration. Okay, Public Works Committee,
Yes, we have a meeting next Tuesday, November 26th, here at 8:30 a.m.
okay, Safety Forces was canceled, it was Veterans Day, but we will meet on December 9th, I believe, at 8:30. No, 8, yeah, 8:30.
8:30.
No, yeah, 8:30. Yeah. Huh? Oh, okay, oh, that's right, yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you. Planning Commission has not met, I believe they're meeting this week, and I haven't seen the agenda, so I don't know what's on that yet. The Historic Preservation Committee meeting is on Wednesday. They are gonna begin their discussion on downtown facades and such, because that is now in the considered a historical area, because they got some grants. And the only other thing is a porch, a house being remodeled in the harbor is fixing their porch, so. Other than that, yes.
Mr. President, I just want to clarify something. So the downtown was designated a historic area. We have not adopted standards.
Right, yeah.
What we have suggested in trying to work with the commission is those standards aren't going to be in place by the time we need to do these facades. We've asked that they come up with recommendations, and we're going to include those into the facade program. So a color palette and different guidelines that we want them to follow, but it's not going to be the type of review that has to happen in the harbor right now.
Exactly,
Yep.
yes, thank you for pointing that out, yeah. Okay. All right, we've come to the legislative part of our agenda. We have several items, and if anyone would like to speak on these items, now would be the time to do that. We have an ordinance acknowledging the hiring of Ms. Kelly Jones, an ordinance repealing ordinance 2024-110, an ordinance authorizing salary compensations and wages, which would replace 24-110, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with GDP Group, an ordinance to modify our community care ambulance network contract, an ordinance making increases and decreases in various funds, and an ordinance appointing Stacy Milberg as clerk of courts or clerk of council for the city of Ashtabula. Would anyone like to speak on any of those? Seeing no one, Ms. Bell, would you read us tonight's legislation?
Ordinance number 2024-144, an ordinance acknowledging the hiring of Kelly Jones as the executive assistant to the city manager of the city of Ashtabula, approving compensation and additional paid vacation leave. Ordinance number 2024-145, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 2024-110 for the purpose of enacting replacement legislation. Ordinance number 2024-146, an ordinance authorizing compensation, salaries, and wages to employees of the city of Ashtabula and the Ashtabula City Health District. Ordinance number 2024-147, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with GPD Group of Akron, Ohio, for the purpose of providing engineering, design, and construction administration for the Walnut Boulevard Storm Sewer Outfall Project. Ordinance number 2024-148, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to amend the agreement with Community Care Ambulance Network for ambulance and medical transportation and fire department dispatching services. Ordinance number 2024-149, an ordinance to make supplemental increases and/or decreases to appropriations in the General Fund, SCMR Public Works Fund, Law Enforcement Trust Fund, Court Special Projects Fund, Sanitation Fund, Fire Pension Fund, Police Pension Fund, and WPC/Wastewater Fund for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Ashtabula, State of Ohio, for the period January 1st through December 31st, 2024. Ordinance number 2024-150, an ordinance appointing Stacy Milberg as clerk of council for the city of Ashtabula, Ohio, for a 3-year period commencing on December 2nd, 2024, and authorizing a written contract of employment.
Is it council's desire to handle these items in consent agenda format?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio, second by Mrs. Mills. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will do so by a 7-0 vote. May I entertain a motion to waive the reading of this legislation in its entirety?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Holman, second by Mrs. Foglio. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading by a 7-0 vote. May I have a motion to waive the charter requirements of 2 readings?
So moved.
Motion by Mrs. Foglio.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Mills. Any discussion? Will you please call the roll?
Mrs. DeGiacomo,
Yes.
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero,
Yes.
Mr. Simeone,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovics,
Yes.
Ms. Holman,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills.
Yes.
And now we will, that has passed by a 7-0 vote. We will now vote on adoption of the legislation. Would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Foglio,
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero,
Yes.
Mr. Simeone,
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich,
Yes.
Ms. Holman,
Yes.
Mrs. Mills,
Yes.
Mrs. DeGiacomo.
Yes.
Thank you. Tonight's legislative items have passed by a 7-0 vote. Is there any unfinished business before council?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I was asked to inquire on East Fifth Street, on our property where the water pollution control is. Some of my constituents have seen a new road that starts at our property and then goes north and then cuts over to
That's
the Kinder Morgan property. And we were just wondering, what was that for and when it went in and why?
So that is for the Petman project, and that's the access road to get down to the site that they're starting to put in.
Okay, and we are correct that does go through our property, correct?
There was an easement assigned to, actually, I can't remember if it was an easement or we sold them that piece of property. I think it might have been an easement that goes through the corner of the water pollution control plant and then out to their site.
So they're gonna start building stuff down there? I mean,
We hope. We still haven't gotten the final yes, but the access road's going in, which I think is a good sign.
And we did not have to pay for that, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, it's not a public road. That's just the entrance.
Thank you.
Is there any other unfinished business?
I have something that I just wanted to share with everyone. So Bambi Paschal, the Ashtabula Township trustee, she presented and it would pass the same legislation that we passed, the anti-camping legislation. So that is now not only true in the city of Ashtabula, but also the township.
Thank you. Anything else?
Mr. President?
Yes.
While the ad hoc committee doesn't have a report, I would like to announce that we are sponsoring another racial wealth gap learning simulation. And for those who don't know, it's a simulation where we can actually see how federal policies shape the landscape of property ownership, education, and more, and contributes to the hunger and poverty in communities of color. So it's an opportunity for us to learn. And we are asking, as we did in one of our recommendations for all council, to attend to help inform the recommendations that we presented to council in our presentation. It's also open to the public for anyone who'd like to attend. The dates are November 25th and December 5th at 6 p.m. The November 25th date will be at Kent State University, and the December 5th date will be at our Ashtabula County Public Library. We'd love to see everyone come out. Thank you.
Thank you for offering 2 dates.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Holman. And I attended that event, and it was very enlightening, educational. It was very worthwhile. So I would also encourage, echo Ms. Holman's suggestion. Thank you. Anybody else with unfinished business? Any new business? Does anyone have anything for tell us something we don't know?
I do.
Go ahead.
When she's done.
Last meeting, we had APD Officer Ryan White here talking about the homeless and what the police department is doing for that. And he was awarded through the Ashtabula County Safe Community Council. He was honored for his service. And also the Star of Bethlehem. I don't know if anybody's ever been to that. It's the Ashtabula Township Mall, Ashtabula Town Square, whatever it's called now. It's going to be in the JCPenney building Friday, December 6th from 5 to 9, and Saturday, December 7th from 12 to 5, and it is free. They have animals, and it's really nice. And if you come on Friday at 6 o'clock, you'll be able to see myself and the Our Lady of Peace Choir singing. So try to come. It's a free event. Bring your kids. Have a good time.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I got to attend the at the Space on Main. I actually spoke at it last Friday for the Art in the Alley film, which was amazing. And that was, the film was made by Austin Barbian and Tessa LeBron, and the Art Center and the community did the mural that's in the art alley over there. And a big thank you to NEO Fund and the Made on Main project for the sneak peek of the Main Avenue Pocket Park. So you've probably seen that going around on Facebook, but it's amazing the things that they're gonna have there, and films, and an area like a pollinator garden and food trucks, and so it should bring some foot traffic downtown. But public art does add uniqueness and meaning to our community, so seeing different ways art is displayed. I know you were at that, and I was overwhelmed by watching that. So if you get a chance to see that on Facebook. The other thing is Holidays in the Harbor event. Celebrating the holidays on Bridge Street is Saturday the 14th from 11 to 3. And they have things from adults to kids. They have Santa the Grinch, roasted chestnuts. I think they usually do those down by the bridge. Kids crafts, cookies, hot cocoa, singing, food demos. So I don't know, it just always seems like it was always summertime, there's something going on, but they try to create things through the winter now, which is really cool. Including now the hotel rooftop is now open to all. So they have some light bites, and you can see the scenery from the top. So if you haven't been there, you can go up there and have a little snack and see the view. And so they're welcoming everybody now.
Very good.
That's it.
I have stuff too.
Okay.
So November 22nd is the Downtown Christmas Parade. And I would just like to remind everyone out there, I think a lot of us have gotten in the habit of maybe shopping on our phones, but our small businesses need our help. So please look in your town first before you start shopping, and support the small businesses. And then lastly, the Ashtabula Municipal Court will be doing a giving tree this year, taking in donations for our local Animal Protective League. The tree will be located on the first floor of the Annex Building, located at 110 West 44th Street, next to the security desk. They will have bins around the tree for items to be placed in. The APL is in much need of various items. The list will also be displayed by the security desk. Some items needed include dog food, kitten food, bleach, and paper towels. So I know we have a wonderful animal support group in Ashtabula, so you might want to give to the Giving Tree.
Thank you.
And one last thing, Miss Mills stole my something you don't know with the talking about the pocket park. For those who have not seen that video, if they would like to, you can go, if you have access to Facebook, just go to the Ashtabula Downtown Development Association, go to their webpage. There's a couple pictures on there, and there is also a video, so you can see what the vision is for that pocket park, and it is quite impressive. I think everybody who walked out of that meeting was very excited. It'll add a lot of positivity, and it would be from what they showed us, it will be a great addition to Main Avenue. So, but again, go to the Ashtabula Downtown Development Association if you want to look at the video on their Facebook page.
Can I piggyback off you? So the mural in the art alley downtown, they've strung lights across. It's really cool. So go see it at night.
Okay.
I realize this is probably out of order, but I was thinking, Mr. Timonier, that you would just share with the public the update on the streetscape and facade program, and we missed it. So if you wouldn't mind circling back around and just sharing a quick update on that.
Sure, I can do that. So what Ms. Holman is referring to is the Appalachian Community Grant that we were awarded here in the city. If you recall, we were awarded $1.6 million. Unfortunately, part of that program, we were not funded for the facade program, which we very much advocated for. We went back to the state and to Eastgate and reminded them how important this was to us. So they did allow us to redistribute the funds in order to put a facade program together. Right now, the Ashtabula County Land Reutilization Corporation, better known as the Land Bank to everyone, they had some technical assistance funds left over that we didn't want to give back to the state. So we did ask the state if we could use those technical assistance funds in order to hire a consultant that would help our local business owners and building owners with their individual facade programs, not only in the city of Ashtabula, but also for the city of Geneva, because they're doing a very similar project in Geneva. The state agreed to that, so the RFP is actually out on the street right now for that consultant for the land bank to hire. The beauty of that is the funds that we were awarded, we now don't have to pay for a consultant to be able to do that work. We will also provide assistance through our staff for that project. And then the big token of it is the streetscape project that the city will be administering. My goal is to have that done next year during the summertime. That will replace all the sidewalks from West 44th Street south to the tracks. And it will also, if we have some funds left in there, provide some other streetscape material for the roadway. We're looking at ways to get creative with that while we're replacing the sidewalks and a lot of that concrete so that we can add parking spaces down on Main Avenue as well to increase the parking along the street. And then depending on how much money is available, we would love to do new lighting and different things like that. The one thing we will do as part of the project is put conduit under the sidewalk so that at a future date, if we do replace the poles, all of that can be underground. The only power lines that are on Main Avenue are those that feed the street lights themselves and that feed the vendor boxes that are on those poles. So all of the building power actually comes in from the back on both Park Avenue and on the other side of Main Avenue. So we don't have to contend with any of that, which is great. But burying some of that stuff would clean it up a little bit, and we'd love to have the decorative poles down here as well, but we'll see what kind of funds are left over. Once the consultant is on board with the land bank, we do intend to have a meeting with all of our downtown business owners and merchants and let them know how the process is going to evolve. So right now it will be for facades and roofs is what we're looking at, and we hope that we can announce all the details of that project real soon here so everybody can get rolling.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And I just have one last thing for Tell Us Something We Don't Know. Ollie's Outlet is opening on Thursday, and the rumor has it that they have good stuff cheap. That's what rumor has it. But no, and I only bring that up is because if you go by there, they're rebuilding Arby's too. So that's one of the main intersections in our town, and it's nice to see that it's coming back to life, and it's going to be a good busy place then. So that's good to see. You know, you drive by the hospital, you feel so proud. You see that big hospital. So just be nice, the main intersection. And who knows, maybe Arby's will have 5 for $10 again. We don't know. We gotta see. So anything else? Would anybody in the audience like to share anything with council tonight?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What was done in regards to the environment and the Pittman iron plant? Was there studies done in regards to that coming in?
Yeah,
Mr. President, yeah, so a few things were done. First off, all of their permitting had to go through the Ohio EPA. So all of the analytics of that was vetted from the Ohio EPA. The second portion of that is any of the wastewater that's on the property. They originally talked about doing their own little package plant on there. Because our wastewater treatment plant is so close to the facility, I was adamant that they would not get their own permit to discharge and that they would actually just run a line from their facility to ours. And that way we could monitor it closer and we could report on it as well. So it'll actually, they won't have their own discharge permit. They will discharge to the city's plant, and then we can do industrial pretreatment on them.
Are we concerned about air quality? Was that brought up, or has anybody discussed that?
Yeah, air quality was brought up. From the EPA standpoint, it meets all of the requirements of what the air permit is. I think they have some other things going on site to hopefully recapture some of the concerns that people had. Again, the project still has not been announced as a go, and there's still a lot of development going on with the project.
What was the rationale for them to open it in Ohio versus South Africa?
So actually, the two locations for this plant were in Canada and here in the United States at our port. The two ports were kind of right across the lake from each other. We originally were not considered because we didn't have enough natural gas here. Now that we have the Ryberg pipeline that comes through the county, whatever didn't work out with their logistics at the port that they were working at, so they came back to the city and actually to the county and said, hey, we'd still like to go at the site we originally talked about, is what's going on with gas. The one nice thing about this county is we didn't just say we didn't have gas and forget about it. We actually went out and tried to solve that problem, because it's not only a problem for a company like this, but for just reliability locally. So now that we had that, we became another player with their site. The particular pig iron that they make is mostly distributed right around us, both east and west. So we're kind of central located. Because of the access to rail, port, and roadway, we're a logical choice for them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
They had, this was way before COVID. They had EPA hearings out at Kent State, several of them, and they were very thorough. And so maybe, like I said, what's that been, 5 years now? So, but if they, they're just putting a road in. We don't know if that means anything or if it doesn't. But if it does, maybe they'll have more hearings and address more concerns. Yeah,
And Mr. President, in addition to those EPA hearings that we had, we also had that huge public meeting where the representatives from Petman were there, as well as people from, I believe, ODNR, EPA were there, and there was one other agency, maybe Army Corps.
It was very well attended.
It was
Very well. It was at Kent State University, and it was full.
We filled the auditorium.
Yeah, it was before they remodeled Kent State, so that's how long ago it was, So we'll see what happens, but we appreciate.
I'm out in 22, so that's the only reason why I'm asking now.
Oh, yeah.
In that area,
So long.
Understand.
Okay. Anybody else who would like to address council? Seeing no one, our next council meeting will be Monday, December 2nd. And remember, we will be starting at 6 o'clock with a public hearing, 7 o'clock our regular council meeting. So until then, everybody be safe. Have a nice Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Thanksgiving's coming up. And so I think, are the Browns playing on Thanksgiving?
Who cares?
Really?
Well, it's Turkey Day. No. Okay. Thank you. Everybody have a good couple of weeks and enjoy the holiday. Thank you.